Hello everyone, and a happy Halloween to you all. I'm sure you're all here for another of my Prince's reviews. Well, I'm afraid I haven't seen him yet today. However, perhaps I can interest you in a treat from myself, in the form of a review, in the hopes that you won't play any sinister tricks on us later. Yes, today, on this spookiest of holidays, we shall review Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube. Let us begin.
Prologue. Background information. The game, Luigi's Mansion, was a launch title for the Nintendo GameCube, and as such, it came out in 2001 for Japan and America, and 2002 for Europe. Notably, it was only the second game to feature Luigi in a solo leading role, as opposed to Mario. It also strayed from the platforming genre typical of main series Mario games, instead taking the route of an action-adventure. Overall, the game was well received, but of course, that was well over a decade ago. Does the mansion structure still stand strong, or is it creaking with age? We'll find out shortly. With that basic information laid out, we can now begin the actual review. Chapter 1. Story and Characters. The game opens with Luigi walking alone in the woods. He comes upon an ominous-looking mansion, which is, as we find out later, a prize he won in a contest which he never entered. Perhaps not his brightest moment. Regardless, Mario was supposed to meet his brother at the mansion so they might celebrate his good fortune. Unfortunately, however, when he arrives, Mario is nowhere to be found. Luigi does, however, encounter a single key floating in the darkness, a hint at the paranormal activities to come. Using the key, Luigi can move further into the mansion, where he encounters one Professor Egad, a researcher of spirits, who saves him from an advancing ghost. The two return to Gad's lab, where he explains that the mansion appeared only recently, and that it has become a haven for ghosts. Further, all the ghosts that he'd transformed into paintings have also gone missing, and of course, Mario is missing. With Egad's support, it's up to Luigi to unravel the mansion's many mysteries and rescue his brother. Aside from the well-known Mario and of course Luigi, this game also features several other characters, both new and old. Returning is Toad, who will offer hints at times and support Luigi by allowing him to save his progress. For new characters, this game is the first to introduce the Professor, as well as a new antagonist in the form of King Boo, both of whom have appeared multiple times since. The Professor is a helpful, if not eccentric, man who trains Luigi in the art of ghost hunting, as well as provides him with a variety of gadgets and advice. King Boo, on the other hand, doesn't have his character explored much beyond, as you may have guessed, being the king of the Boos, and hating the Mario brothers, which is admittedly a bit weak for our main villain, although Bowser's motivation is kidnap the princess, beat the plumber, so I suppose I can let it slide. Additionally, the game has several special portrait ghosts, each with their own backstories and personalities. One is even a fellow Butler. I identify with his pain immensely. While these ghosts don't receive a great deal of characterization, it's enough to make them interesting and distinguish them from the standard ghosts that occupy the majority of the mansion's many rooms. Also, it is worth noting that this game is among the first canonical appearances of Luigi as a coward, which is an important distinguishing trait that's helped him step out of his brother's shadow. Next, let's discuss the game's art presentation. Chapter 2. Graphics and Audio. First, let's discuss the visual presentation. Everything looks good, from character models to the ghosts to even the smallest background objects, which have a surprising amount of detail. Further, things are well animated and feel fluid, if not slightly slow. When taking into account that this was a launch title for the GameCube, these graphics still look great today. As far as audio goes, it's rather well done. While there isn't a huge variety of background music, what is there is catchy and atmospheric. While a wider variety of tracks would have been appreciated to prevent things from getting repetitive, this is, I believe, a case of the old saying of quality over quantity. Sound effects are good and fit things nicely, and Luigi's voice acting is wonderfully expressive. Overall, the sound direction is handled well. At last, let us move on to the gameplay. Chapter 3. Gameplay. The objective is, as stated earlier, to capture the ghosts of the mansion, recover Professor Egad's missing portrait ghosts, and rescue Mario. To do this, Luigi has been granted a few tools by the professor, the Poltergust 3000 and the Game Boy Horror. The Poltergust is a vacuum cleaner used to capture the ghosts of the mansion when used in conjunction with a flashlight that can stun said ghosts. It's worth noting that between this and Mario's water pump from Sunshine, Nintendo was really pushing the whole cleaning thing on the GameCube, and as a butler, I wholeheartedly approve. In addition to vacuuming ghosts, Luigi can use it to manipulate things in the environment that are out of reach, such as using it to grab keys and treasure, and pull drapes and extinguish candles. It is a wonderfully unique gameplay mechanic. However, inhaling isn't the only thing the Poltergust is capable of. As Luigi explores the mansion, he finds a variety of elemental metals, each representing either fire, water, or ice. With these metals, Luigi can capture elemental spirits, which allow him to expel the respective element from the vacuum, which adds even more puzzle-solving elements, although the degree to which these elements are utilized is sadly small. Controlling the vacuum feels good for the most part, though it can take a bit of getting used to in terms of getting a precise angle, which is accomplished via the C-stick. Eventually it becomes second nature though, so it's not something to worry about too much. That covers the Poltergust, so next I'll briefly explain the Game Boy Horror, which is an obvious nod to the Nintendo handheld, the Game Boy Color. First among its various features is allowing Luigi to scan the room in first-person view, for hints on catching ghosts and solving various puzzles, as well as getting some rather humorous dialogue from the green-clad plumber, which helps to add to the atmosphere of the game. Scanning a mirror also allows Luigi to warp back to the foyer at the mansion's entrance, which is useful when you need to backtrack or save the game quickly. In addition, it has a radar that blinks yellow if a boo is in the room and red the closer Luigi gets. This is incredibly important to pay attention to, as capturing boos is a vital component to Luigi's success in progressing through the mansion. It also has the ability to pull up a map of the mansion, showing which rooms have been explored, as well as which rooms are locked and what keys you may have to open which doors. This is especially useful while learning the mansion's layout. Unfortunately, it won't display where elemental ghosts are located, which could have been immensely helpful. Lastly, the Game Boy can display Luigi's currently collected treasure and items, as well as a list of caught portrait ghosts, and give a brief biography of each ghost, which is again nice for building the characters and atmosphere. In order to capture the various ghosts of the mansion, Luigi must use these tools to his full advantage, and there are many different kinds of ghosts, each which are captured in different ways. I'll briefly outline the majority here. First are some very simple ghosts such as bats and mice. They're easy to take care of as they have no HP. Just using the vacuum is enough. For the real ghosts, the main foes you'll encounter are the common ghosts. While they come in different varieties, each with different means of harassing our poor hero, and each has different amounts of hit points, the means of defeating them is the same. There are two options: stun them by shining the flashlight and quickly using the vacuum, or shooting one of the three elements at them until their HP reaches 0. These are the next easiest to dispatch. Next are 3 kinds of elemental ghosts. Each of these is a palette swap of a standard spirit, but their heart is encased in an element, and must be revealed with a different one. Ice is beaten by fire, fire by water, and, contrary to what Pokemon would have one believe, water is frozen by ice. After the heart is revealed, they become no different from other ghosts. There are also ghosts that resemble Shy Guys, and which wear masks. Simply using the vacuum to remove the masks makes them vulnerable to the flashlight, or using an element can again defeat them. Next up are the boos. Unlike other ghosts, these appear in the mansion once rooms have been lit up. They must be found with the radar on the Game Boy Horror, at which point you must use the Poltergust to suck at their HP. Neither the flashlight nor the elements have an effect on them, and the vacuum doesn't lock you onto them like it does with other ghosts, so you simply have to chase them. Their HP varies from 30 to 300, and they will attempt to flee into other rooms. Outside of that, they're not too hard to deal with, more annoying than anything. Finally are the portrait ghosts. These are the ghosts who escaped from Egad's gallery of paintings, which he created after catching these through the extremely scientific process of the plot machine. The process isn't ever explained beyond a machine does it, but the game isn't super plot heavy, so it's not a huge issue anyway. Each of these usually has a gimmick or trick needed to reveal their hearts, such as manipulating the environment, hitting them with an object, or sometimes simply waiting for them to reveal it themselves. Once they reveal their hearts, they can be stunned with the flashlight and captured. Once again, they cannot be defeated by using the elements, although they are occasionally used to reveal their heart. Once you begin capturing them, they'll drop pearls, depending on how well you hold on. The longer you hold on, the more and larger pearls you'll get. These pearls will also affect the color frame you get upon returning the ghost to Gad's gallery. It's not especially important, but collecting all the ghosts in a gold frame can be a nice challenge. In addition to pearls, there are a variety of collectible treasures that can be found throughout the mansion, hiding in chests and drawers, and even found by watering the mansion's various plants. While technically useless, the amount of treasure you retrieve within the mansion determines your rank at the end, as Gad uses your accumulated fortune to construct a new mansion for Luigi. Of course, the more money you collect, the more grand Luigi's new home will be. I find, however, that retrieving enough treasure to get a good rank is rather easy, so it's much more challenging to see how little treasure you can obtain and aim for a low rank. Regardless, the new mansion Luigi receives doesn't actually count for much. It's not like you get to explore your new mansion in a second quest or anything. That'd be rather cool, actually. Hit us up, Nintendo. We're full of great ideas. With that said, upon completing the game, you can begin the Hidden Mansion, which is more of a New Game Plus mode. The two main changes in this mode are a more powerful vacuum and taking more damage from ghosts. There were more changes, such as the map being flipped and having more treasure to collect, but alas, this was exclusive to the PAL release of the game. Lastly, I'll note that the game is very short, especially if you know the mansion's layout well. Most of the time-consuming activities are backtracking and chasing boos. The fact that the new mansion and the non-PAL versions doesn't add much makes the game feel even shorter, which is a shame. That covers the game, both main and post, so let's briefly discuss the most important theme hidden within the mansion. Chapter 4: Ideas and Themes. The most important lesson Luigi's Mansion presents is that sometimes, despite being afraid, we must master our fear and dive into the unknown, just like Luigi. Also, that you can't win a mansion when you don't even enter the contest. I mean, seriously, Luigi, how can you believe that? It's just ridiculous. And Mario, don't think I'm forgetting about you. Why would you? Final chapter: Verdict. Luigi's Mansion is a simple yet fun game. While not necessarily the most ambitious of games, it remains a wonderful experience. The game has aged remarkably well. The Japanese and American releases of the game do not offer the same incentives for replaying that the PAL version does, but that does not mean it's not worth revisiting every once in a while. Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube receives a happy ending. The game itself has a simple concept, but it's executed well. I can easily recommend it, even to the most easily frightened of gamers.
Luigi's Mansion remains to this day a fantastic game on the Nintendo GameCube, even a decade later. And I happen to know that it's a personal favorite of my prince. Speaking of which, I still have no idea where he is. Wait. Yes, there's one last place I haven't yet checked.
My prince, did you eat all that candy? What am I going to do with you?
I got hungry. Hey, I was gonna review that. What did I tell you about doing? You know what, whatever. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Thank you for watching this video. If it was enjoyable, please consider giving it a like. And if you would like to be notified of future videos that will appear on this channel, please click on that subscribe button. In addition, you can click the on-screen links to view some other reviews, such as my Prince's last Halloween video, where he lists the 10 Zelda enemies he finds most terrifying, or my own review of Black Butler. As always, we appreciate your patronage.